Hey everybody and welcome to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to talk about Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm. Hey everybody and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're reviewing Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm. This is a mini-series that spun out of the original Sin event. This is where you find out that Angela, pictured here, is actually Thor's sister. Who's Angela? Why'd they do this? Why is it called Original Sin, Thor and Loki? All that will be explained here in the review. So let's get into it. So this is written by Jason Aaron and Al Ewing. Ewing actually has the second billing, but I feel like he does a lot of work because they do list him as like script as opposed to story with the Jason Aaron story credit. So this spins out of the original Sin event after issue number 5. Thor says, I have a sister, and then boom, this series begins. And it's actually originally spit out, it says like Original Sin 5.1 through 5.5. So this 5-issue storyline kind of sort of is meant to be read in the middle of that, is how those numbering things sometimes work, but it's not really meant to be read in the middle of Original Sin. It's just, here's the Thor storyline. So Thor sees that, he disappears, and then this storyline ends and he goes back to the Original Sin miniseries. He gets a whisper, he drops his hammer, and then he's no longer worthy. So that's kind of where this fits in. This was a lot more fun to read than the actual Original Sin storyline, I'll give it that. Does it matter in the consequence of Jason Aaron's Thor run? Ultimately, I don't remember that it ever did, which is kind of a bummer because the revelation here seems like a big one. So who is this character of Angela? Well, that's a little bit complicated. So Angela was created by Neil Gaiman in Neil Gaiman's fill-in issue of Spawn. In the first 10 issues, Todd McFarlane asked a bunch of writers to come in and write on his Spawn book back in the 90s, and Neil Gaiman created this character of Angela. And originally she was kind of this angel who hunts these hell spawns. After a long, protracted legal battle that had also to do the rights with Miracle Man, I feel like the end of the story is that Neil Gaiman gets the rights to Angela and then somehow sells them to Marvel. So now Marvel owns the character of Angela, who originally appeared in Spawn. She just appeared out of nowhere at the end of Age of Ultron and ran around with the Guardians of the Galaxy for a little bit. So it was like, okay, where's this going? And then they made her Thor's sister to try and level her up a bit, and she hasn't really been seen since. I feel like she had a mini-series or two after that, but she's not a member of any Avengers team. She's not in the Thor book at all. She's not reconnecting with her roots, and I feel like we've kind of forgotten that this is a thing, whether we like it or not. I do like the character of Angela. I feel like they could do something with her to have a female version of Thor, I guess, but they already did that with the Jason Aaron Thor run with Jane Foster, and then you have the Valkyrie series that was ongoing for a while, or that character is getting a spotlight in the movie, so they may use that version, Brunhilde or something. There's just a lot going on that maybe this version of a female version of Thor doesn't really fit. Or maybe they're going, well, maybe I don't want this Angela character to be Thor's sister. But regardless, this is an entertaining miniseries, and if you want to know more about this character, it doesn't really reveal that as much as it does kind of lay the foundation for her to have an ongoing arc in the Marvel Universe, which unfortunately never gets picked up. The story is pretty good though. You can tell that Al Ewing and Jason Aaron, when they have this singular focus in on the story, and they tell a really good, compelling one. The artwork in here is also fantastic. The cover is not from any of the artists inside. I think that's a Arthur Adams cover, or no, Dale Keown, I'm sorry. But anyway, you have, who's in here? Simone Bianchi and Lee Garbett doing the art inside, and they split it up in a really cool way where anything inside the 10th Realm is done by Simone Bianchi, who has this really interesting painted style, and anything outside of the 10th Realm, here's Simone Bianchi right here, is Lee Garbett doing his awesome work. So it's really, really cool when you're reading this first couple issues to get these style changes that are cool because they're distinctly telling you where you are in the realms and that kind of thing. So it's basically an adventure of Thor going to Loki and saying like, hey, we have a sister. We need to go find her. Apparently she's still alive. And then trying to get answers from their mom, from Odin. They find the 10th realm. They break it open. Even the people in the 10th realm, these angels, it's called heaven, but it's spelled Heaven. So it's not heaven up above. It's heaven somewhere else. And these angels are kind of assholes. They're all assholes. Their culture is based off exchanges. They're kind of like ultra capitalists in that there's always a reward given, and they're kind of shamed for doing something for free without any sort of payment in return. Nothing for nothing is a phrase uttered a lot in here, as if it's like, nothing for nothing. What a terrible thing. Or you're so stupid to do something for nothing. They're always trying to get some reward, or very like treasure focused, almost like the dragon in the Hobbit. They all want to have their own pile of gold, so they're always trying to move around and do things to get rewards and things like that. So that was a very interesting take on this society, like what makes them different from Asgardians, because they kind of look the same other than they have wings. They're very focused on treasure and reward and that sort of thing. It was a very, very cool take on their society. Angela is like their supreme hunter, and she comes to the Queen's rescue at the end, and ultimately you're kind of like, well, nobody knows she was Asgardian before. You guys all know what Asgardians look like, and she's the only one around here that doesn't have wings, because all the other angels do have wings, at least in this Marvel Universe thing. So that was kind of a weird thing to be like, well, yeah, this is kind of obvious at this point. What is weird though is that even the Queen of the Angels didn't know that Angela was still alive, that Odin's daughter was still alive as this character. And we kind of see how this happens, but it's not really explained after that. It's almost like, well, this baby was thrown away in the land of heaven and came up and rose, and that's a story for another day, how this character rose up and achieved all this fame and fortune and levels and prestige, stuff like that, and became well respected. Instead of people being like, why is there an angel here with no wings? That doesn't make any sense. None of those questions are asked or explained or answered. It's just something I feel like that's left out there to pick up in a future miniseries or something like that. But ultimately, I feel like this is a lot more fun to read than the actual original Sin event. And that's kind of sad to say, because this one is even less consequential in terms of Thor as the original Sin event, because they never pick up on this angel thread, even in Jason Aaron's run or Donny Cates' run going on yet hasn't picked up on this. So I feel like this is kind of we like this idea, we think it's a good idea, and then no one did anything with it, therefore it doesn't matter. So ultimately, this one might be forgotten in the terms of Marvel history. So you might never see Angela referred to again, or hell, even Angela referred to again as Thor's sister. So it's kind of a bummer to me, because this was a really well-written, well-crafted story. So seek it out if you haven't read it yet, and I do actually recommend this. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of the 10th Realm, Thor and Loki, down in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.